Only in comedy, he has some experience. So please welcome to the stage from the United States, Mr. Horek McWilliams.
Hello everybody, I'm really happy to be here. I'm glad you guys came out tonight. And first of all, I want to clear something up. There's a lot of you that I've probably seen out in town, and I know you've seen the fat me and the skinny me. And I've been kind of trying to work on my weight, and it's not working out sometimes. Right now I'm doing all right, but I've tried a few different things. And first of all, I tried to go to the gym for about an hour. Didn't work. I went to run with somebody. I got 3 Ks into it, and that shit didn't work either. So I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna swim. And I went to swim, and I realized that black people don't really swim. So that shit didn't work for me either. So I was seeking some advice, and I had a friend that actually is no longer with us. He died from E. coli, but before he died, he did give me some advice, some nutritional advice. And so I've been working on that, and I'm just really giving this information for anybody else out there that's trying to work on a diet to better yourself as well. And so first of all, if you come from Václavské náměstí, right, and you go all the way down past the New Yorker, and on the right side there's a kebab shop. But before you go to that kebab shop, you need a few hours before to drink beers, like a lot of beers. And then drink a lot of motherfucking shots. Just drink a lot of shots. And around between 3 and 5 in the morning, you want to stop by that kebab shop and get you a kebab, right? And ask for a lot of tzatziki on that. And they also have a chili sauce, but they don't keep it in the front. So you actually have to ask for it, so they go to the back to get it. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing back there, but they're back there for so long. But they come back and they squirt it all on there because nobody else asked for that except for you. Because you're the only person for some reason that knows that they even have it. So squirt that on it, and you have 2 options. You can either eat it on the way home, or you eat it when you get home, put it on a plate and eat it like you made it at home yourself, right? So then the next thing that you want to do is you need to go to bed for a few hours. But don't drink any water, don't have an aspirin, fuck all that. Face down, fall asleep on your bed. And what's gonna happen is, a few hours later, your stomach's gonna start to fucking rumble. It's gonna wake your ass up. And you need to shit immediately. Hopefully you have some toilet paper. But if you don't, I have some advice for you as well. Do you have a phone book? Because if you have a phone book, you need to go back to the yellow pages. Choose X. Because there's nobody really with a name with X, or there's not a company that has an X. And while you're in the toilet, you want to ball the papers up, to get them soft. And you use those to wipe your ass. And then you want to finish it with a white page, just to make sure that the coast is clear, right? Then after that, what's going to happen is you're going to shit a lot. Like basically you're going to lose probably about half of your body weight. And that's going to happen about 8 times through the day. So it's probably best for you to actually call in sick, and especially if you're going to do this diet every day for a week or 2 weeks, which is what I've been doing. You want to make sure that you're not going to work, because after you had those 8 times of shitting, then you'll have for a few hours after, it'll be a rumble and you're not really sure what's going to happen. Don't fart. That's all I can say. So I've actually been using that. It's been working for me. And if anybody else wants to try it, I can give you directions if you don't really know where that place is. And I don't know what I'm doing with my life these days. Right now, I'm working as a receptionist, right? And I'm doing accommodation. And I feel really good about that, especially living in the Czech Republic. This is like the melting pot for people that are coming from all over the world, that are tourists, and they come here and they plan for 1 year, 2 years to come to the Czech Republic. So I really feel good about myself, that I'm doing something to help the community and for the tourists and all that stuff. So I feel like my job is to actually give people as much information that they can get. Not just for their trip here, this one time, but throughout life, and they can pass it on to their children and their children's children and all that shit. So that's what I'm supposed to do, and I feel like I'm doing a really good job. A perfect example is, a few weeks ago, I was working as a receptionist, because that's what I do, and that's my job, and I do a really good job at it, and I give a lot of information. These two ladies come to check in, and the one leans on the counter, and she's like, "Hi, we have a reservation for Beverly, for 2 people." So I'm like, a little bit annoyed that she fucking showed up. But I put my game face on, and I'm like, "Okay, Beverly, let me just see if I have your reservation. I'll check on that for you." So I start typing and shit, like whatever. Click out of the Facebook. And so I'm like, "Yeah, it's right here." So I have a reservation for Beverly for 2 persons for 2 nights in a double-in suite with a bottle of champagne. Your rate comes to 4,362 Czech crowns. And she steps back into this box of confusion. And she's like, "Do we have to pay in Czech crowns?" So I look at her because I'm not really sure where the fuck she's going with this question, right? So I step into my motherfucking box of confusion. And I think to myself, before I speak to her, like, what the fuck is she talking about? So I'm like, "Oh no, you're probably right. We're living in the fucking Stone Ages. You can pay with shells and fucking lava rocks. Are you fucking kidding me? For 1 or 2 years, you've been planning on your trip and you don't have no money to check in the place that you made accommodation for?" So I'm like really going off on her, and she's upset and I'm upset, and I'm like, "You know what, Beverly?" And I really think that the quiet one was Beverly, but the other one was perpetrating like she's Beverly because she has an attitude and everything. So I was like, "Let me tell you what you can do. Why don't you go to the room, check it out, freshen up, wash your ass, come back, talk to me, and I'll answer any questions that you need because I'm a receptionist and that's my job and that's what I do, and I help you out." So they left and they were gone for 1 or 2 hours, I don't know what. And she comes back and she's like, "Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much. And the room is great and we love the view and we just had a question." So I was like, "Yeah, sure, ask me a question because that's my job and that's what I do." And so she's like, "What are we supposed to see? What do we need to see?" So I stepped back into my fucking box of confusion. I'm like, this lady is blatantly like 30-something years old, right? Each and every day that she wakes up, she opens her eyes, she looks around at all the shit that she's supposed to see. So why the fuck is she asking me, what are they supposed to see? You're supposed to see when you fucking wipe your ass, how many times you need to go before you're done. You're supposed to see left and right before you step out into traffic and fucking kill yourself. You're supposed to see a psychiatrist when the voices start in your head and it's not the one that actually comes from your fucking mouth. That's what you're supposed to see. So she was all upset about it. I was like, "I'm just trying to do my job. I'm trying to help you out." And so in the end, actually, they were happy with their stay. She gave me a customer comment card that said I did a really good job helping them out. They gave me a bottle of wine and everything, and they gave us a great rating. And then she asked me for my Facebook page so we can be friends. So actually, I did my job for the community and everything. I was really happy about that, and I think they enjoyed it. And they could take that on to their life, you know, and pass it on to their children as well. Speaking about the community, I really love the Czech Republic. I've been living here for quite some time, and I really like how the Czech people embrace their culture, and they really like they're into making stuff and like using their hands and shit, and like they actually like they make shit from scratch, like Plachenka and fucking like klobasa, and they're like really like Babichka's like getting in there and she's making the sausages from hand, and I really like appreciate that, and they're making slivovica and rushkovica and all this stuff like that. But I was really confused because I'm from America. Like I left America like quite early, but like we try to hold on to our American culture, and I was really like blown away by like what they called homemade, because for me some shit that was homemade was like KFC. A Church's chicken, a Roscoe's chicken and waffles. Like for me, and I know you guys are looking and like, why is he only saying fried chicken places? Well, that's because black people only eat fried chicken and watermelon. That's what we do. That's like our life. So anyways, like a perfect example is like my mother. Like if she finished working or some shit, and she's coming home and her ass is too lazy to cook for us, she stops by the KFC. She gets a family bucket of chicken, some mashed potatoes, In American KFC, we even get green beans with bacon. You could get macaroni and cheese, red beans and rice. So that's like it's shit you would make at home. So that's kind of like homemade. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that my mother actually made it home without eating all the shit, it made it home. So it's kind of like homemade. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy with that, but I was really confused about that. But now I'm kind of understanding and all of that, and really trying to embrace the culture. Another thing with the Czech people is the mullet, right? You know, Czech people, they really like, I mean, I know they try to hold on to their traditions, and I know Czech people, they really love the mullet. If you even see a small family of Czech people, at least 1 or 2 people have a motherfucking mullet. Either babička has a mullet, or dad has a mullet. And I even have some Czech friends, you know, like they're pregnant, and they like right before the baby's born, I think like in heaven, they know the baby's gonna be Czech. So the baby comes out and is born with a mullet, you know, and it's like half looking like a Beatle in the front, Beyonce in the back, and like, I think it's also a tradition that they actually don't, you know, cut the baby's hair for 1 or 2 years. So the first 2 years, the baby has to have that mullet. There's no other option, right? So you have to keep the mullet for at least 1 or 2 years. So by the time they get 2 years old, they're just really comfortable with the baby having the fucking mullet, that it grows up to be an adult and then a taxi driver with a fucking mullet, right? It's beautiful, it's beautiful. But I had a situation. I was with some friends in the Rigorisati, right? Which is actually the beer garden, if you don't know it, but there's a lot of expats that hang out there. There's Czech people that hang out there too, but the Czech people, they like sitting on the grass, you know what I'm saying? And then the other people, like the stoners and the beer drinkers, and they're all sitting there. And there was this situation, if you were sitting with your back to the bar, it was to your right, and if you were sitting with your front to the bar, it was to your left, right? So there was some commotion that was happening on the side over there. And so we all look, and like we see this, it's like a big ass dog, like almost a fucking bear. And it was whooping this kid's ass, and the kid was like just fighting the dog, whatever, and everybody's looking, the stoners are like, what the fuck do we do? And so all of a sudden, like everybody jumped, like some lady was like, somebody help the baby. So everybody's like, why the fuck did that bitch say that right now? So everybody jumps up, right? And we all, like, you know how it is when you see somebody like with a problem, you get up and you're not even sure if you still know the Heimlich maneuver, so you hope somebody else goes in front of you. So everybody kind of moved that direction, but didn't really want to be the one to have to help the baby, right? But our saving grace was the situation when the baby like actually grabbed the dog and went around like this, and we saw that there was a mullet like that shot out the back. Because the thing is, a kid is cute until he has a fucking mullet. So then when we saw that, like everybody just kind of like paused for a minute, like what the fuck do we do? Because that kid don't look good. So everybody like slowly goes back to their fucking seat, right? And the same lady that said, somebody help the baby, was like, I see where the dog is coming from. I do love the Czech people. I don't know if they should keep that tradition, but the other ones are alright. I'm pretty much done here, but I just want to say like one last thing. I know like the lights are shining, and I saw like a few of you. I think it was like you and you and you. But like looking from my head down to here, from my head down to here, from my head down to here. And they were like, he has blue hair, doesn't he? And yes, I do have blue hair. And you were thinking, I wonder, does the curtain match the carpet? And just to give you the visual before I get off the stage, yes, the curtain matches the carpet. Thank you.
I totally forgot what I was supposed to say in between this bit. So I'm just going to welcome the next act straight onto the stage, if I can see him. Give me a wave. Oh, he's coming towards me. Hey, excellent. If you could please welcome from Nova Mesto, Mr. Richard Parks.
You might not guess it, but looking at me, I have been successful with the ladies. And I'm a considerate lover. I get myself tested now and again. Went to the doctor. Doctor says, "What are you doing here?" "Hey, Doc, I've had unprotected sex." "With a man?" "No." "Well, looking at you, I think you need to get on a diet. I think you need exercise." I took his advice. I got on a sex diet. The only problem is now I can't eat seafood or crabs. Now you might be wondering where I get my inspiration. Perhaps not. But many of you get your inspiration sitting on a toilet. Not me. I get my best ideas stuffing my face. And you can tell I'm full of inspiration. By the way, I'm rich. Calm down, ladies. It's just my name. I watch my weight. That's why I put it right here in front of me so I don't lose it. Now don't get me wrong. I have tried to lose it. But somehow it always seems to come back. Well, front. Little cheat sheets here. Well, it's better doing this than putting little yellow stickies on their foreheads and people in the front row. It's less embarrassing for both of us. They say inside every fat man there is a thin man. Come on, microphone here. There's a thin man inside every fat man. Come out! Come out! I guess I shocked him. He's not coming out. And neither am I. You know, looking around the audience, what little I can see from the bright lights, you know, I think we've established a relationship here. I think we have a rapport going. And I'd like to share something personal with you right now. It's called the Fat Man's Prayer. And it goes like this. God, please make me skinny and all my friends fat. A friend of mine asked me how much I weighed. I said, well, I tipped the scales a little over 80 kilos. He goes, hell, you didn't tip the scales, you bribed them. Told another friend of mine that I had a fat belly. He says, did you try the diet? I said, yeah, no matter what color I painted it, it's still a fat belly. Psychologists say that we fat people eat our aggressions. I also eat a lot of donuts and pizza myself. But they say part of it, our aggression, is because we eat red meat. Now, if animals weren't made of meat, why are we eating them? But anyway, I became a vegetarian. Because it appealed to my aggressive nature. That's right. You vegetarians are bad people. You are. I know you go to a vegetarian and he says, you know, why are you a vegetarian? I'm a vegetarian because I'm so nice and kind. And, you know, animals are so nice. I would never harm an animal. Unlike you meat eaters, when you see an animal, what do you want to do? You want to kill it. You want to cook it. You want to eat it. Well, I hate to tell you, vegetarians, something, but you forget an important fact. Animals have legs. They can run away. When was the last time you saw a vegetarian chasing after broccoli? But anyway, I became a vegetarian. And I got so into being a vegetarian that I started eating flowers. But I had to give up the diet. Because when the sun came out, I started leaning toward it. And I'm going to go on the next card. Skip it for me, but I'm not going to go back.